G'day, that's Safety Guy here. As requested, fall protection and fall protection anchors. So, take a look at this one. Follow the yellow line. So, you can tell that where that worker is actually anchored, if he was to fall off that perch, he's gonna hit the ground. I don't think he paid that close of attention to his training class. In Ontario, we've actually made it mandatory that you take a working in heights course, which is going to encompass a whole bunch of fall protection issues, which would include guardrails, setting up anchor points, excavation safety, all that stuff. So, when you go to set up your anchor for your fall protection, for your fall restraint or your fall restriction, the best way for it to work, the best way for it to be set up is directly over your head, okay? That particular worker on that particular setup, like I had mentioned, right, would have come off that perch and swung down and into the ground. It's called a pendulum effect. That's not a good idea, all right? When you set up your fall protection, when you set up even your travel restraint, make sure that your anchor point is actually an engineered anchor. Okay? Don't wrap it around a 2x4 stud. Don't wrap it around the top of a guardrail. Don't wrap it around a fixed ladder that's attached to a building, unless you know it is actually engineered to take the weight that is required by law. In Canada, we use ANSI. We also use our CSA standards, Canadian Safety Association standards, so that we have these engineering requirements put in place. So, supervisors, make sure you understand this yourself. All right. In Ontario, it's mandatory that you actually have a working in heights course, which is regulated by law by the government of Ontario. I'm sure there are other and equally equivalent regulations throughout the rest of Canada. And I'm hoping that they would be the same in the States. So make sure or ensure that your fall protection is anchored above your head. Okay. Make sure that it is the correct length. Okay, there's no use having 15 feet of travel restraint if you have a 10-foot fall. There's no use in having 15 or 25 feet of travel restraint or 15 feet of life rope for that 20-foot fall, because you're going to bottom out, you're going to hit the ground. Okay, so you can adjust your lanyard length, you can adjust the rope grab on your life rope, on your lifeline, and you can also adjust where you actually anchor, okay? I've actually seen guys with their lanyards dogged or tied back to itself around 2x4s. That's not a good idea. That 2x4 is just gonna come land on your head once you hit the ground. So, be careful and be aware of where you are anchored. Do not set yourself up for that pendulum effect. And be aware of what's underneath you. Okay, so if you need a shorter lanyard, get a shorter lanyard. Make sure you're using the right gear for what you're trying to attempt as well. So keep that in mind. Stay safe. Be smart. We're out here to help you.